Hey guys, I'm Mrs. Sidham's daughter, and she told me that you guys started reading this book before break, so I thought that I'd finish it with you guys. So this is chapter 1 of Francine Poulette Meets the Ghost Raccoon. Chapter 1. Francine Poulette was an animal control officer. She hailed from a long line of animal control officers. Francine's father, Clement Poulette, had been an animal control officer, and Francine's grandmother, Nanette Poulette, had been an animal control officer too. Francine had won many animal control trophies, 47 of them to be exact. In addition, Francine was the Gizzard County record holder for the most animals controlled. She had successfully and officially and expeditiously, for the most part, captured dogs, cats, rats, pigs, snakes, squirrels, chipmunks, bats, raccoons, and also fish. One time, Francine had faced down a bear. The bear and Francine had stared at each other for a long time. The bear blinked first. Francine Poulette was an excellent animal control officer. She was never, ever afraid. Late one afternoon in May, the phone at the Animal Control Center rang. Francine Poulette was sitting at her desk. She answered the phone. She said, "Animal Control Officer Francine Poulette here. How may I help you?" "Yes, hello," said the voice at the other end. "Miss Bissinger speaking." "Uh-huh," said Francine. "I am being tormented," said Mrs. Bissinger. "Yep," said Francine. Everyone who called the Animal Control Center was being tormented in one way or another. Francine was never surprised to hear about it. Nothing frightened Francine Poulette, and nothing surprised her either. "A most unusual raccoon has come over to reside on my roof," said Miss Bissinger. "Right," said Francine. "Raccoon on your roof? What's your address?" "Perhaps you were not listening," said Miss Bissinger. "This is not your average raccoon." "Right," said Francine. "Not your average raccoon." She leaned back in her chair, and then she leaned back a bit farther. Francine leaned back so far that the front legs of the chair lifted off the ground. This was a bad habit of Francine's. Her father, Clement Poulette, tried to break her of it, but he had never succeeded. "One of these days, Franny," her father used to say, "you are going to tip all the way backwards in that chair and whack your head, and then you will be sorry." Clement Poulette was dead, and it had been many years since he had warned his father about chair tipping. Francine missed Clement. She even missed his dire predictions. However, she had yet to tip all the way backwards and whack her head. Francine had been gifted with an extraordinary sense of balance. "This raccoon," said Miss Bissinger, "shimmers." "He what?" said Francine. "Shimmers," said Miss Bissinger. "He seems to glow. In addition, and more disturbingly, this raccoon calls my name." Francine slowly lowered the chair legs to the floor. "Interesting," said Francine. "The raccoon says, 'Miss Bissinger?'" "No," said Miss Bissinger. "He says, 'Tammy.' He screams my first name. He screams it like a banshee. Perhaps this raccoon is a ghost raccoon?" "There are no ghosts," said Francine Poulette, "and there are no ghosts of raccoons." "Be that as it may," said Miss Bissinger, "there is a shimmery raccoon on my roof who calls my name." And so on. "Right," said Francine. "The address?" 4214 Fleecker Street, said Miss Bissinger. "I'll see you tonight," said Francine. "Bring a ladder," said Miss Bissinger. "The roof is very steep and very high. You are not afraid of heights, are you?" "I am not afraid of anything," said Francine. "How inspiring," said Miss Bissinger. "I am looking forward to making your acquaintance." "And I look forward to catching your raccoon," said Francine. She hung up the phone. She leaned back in her chair and studied her trophies, all 47 of them. She started to hum. Francine's father had always told her that she was like a refrigerator. What he said exactly was, Franny, you are the genuine article. You are solid. You are certain. You are like a refrigerator. You hum. Francine leaned back in her chair. She balanced the chair on 2 legs. A talking ghost raccoon, she said. I don't think so. She hummed louder. She leaned back farther. Watch out, Mr. Raccoon, said Francine Poulette. I am going to get you.